And good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Travis Does Firewood. As you saw, I put the cage in the truck again, and we have a delivery. Actually, we have two. Same customer. She wants 2 cages of firewood, 1 cage of the cedar blocks and our chunks, and 1 of fir chunks. So I could put it in the trailer, but the trailer has some issues. So we are that and her driveway is super long and narrow. And granted, it's a longer trailer. I can definitely back that up. It's just a lot easier with the truck because it's, I guess, narrower at her right at her garage, at her house. So we're just gonna do 2 deliveries, same customer, 1 cage of cedar chunks and 1 of cookies of fir. The first intro you saw was basically a sign that my future sister-in-law made for us, and it's a motto that my dad instilled in us, that he went by. Basically, do the things that you have to do now, that you don't want to do, but do it now to get to where you need to be later on. Like, do the paperwork in the morning. You don't want to do the paperwork in the morning, but do the faxing or the emails in the morning, the meetings you don't want to do, but get out of your way so you continue on. That plays into this pile of wood that I think I made a short on, or an entry in one of the recent episodes a few weeks ago. This is in the back of my yard, and they're huge pieces of wood. I have not dealt with it yet because of other things going on. And the wood that we need to get to is, so the first load is the fir. Cookies is right there. So I can back in right here, but this is in my way. I can't get to it. So what are we gonna do? Should I try to PV it? You use the PV to move some of these pieces so I can back the truck in. That would be a lot easier and faster than having to put it in a wheelbarrow. So I don't know, let's try to use a PV and see what we can do. Whoa! Alright, so that backup wasn't too bad. Low and narrow, but I think it's a lot better, a lot faster to move those logs. Faster just to do my hand. I know a lot of you are like, oh, my back hurts just by watching. It wasn't too bad. They're just cold, so they feel heavier, which is odd. So it's about 30 degrees right now. cold, and I cage in the truck, backed up. This is the wood right here that we're gonna be loading. This is apple. That's not seasoned yet, those branches, but this stuff, this fir, is good to go. This is stuff that I'm currently burning in my house, so I know it's dry. I tested it. We're good to go. So this should be able to fill that cage. I'm fine with selling stuff that I burn personally, even though the customer knows what they're getting, so that I can get into the other wood that I have to burn over this late fall in the winter time, so I can get through it, so I can have more space for more wood. So let's get to checking into the cage. Let's do it. This is what we have left over, some bits and pieces. So some of the fur fell over, is in this little pile here. So this is the main wood I was eating at. One in front of it was all fir. I'm not sure what type of wood this is, what I had in here before, but yeah. Then I had one piece of cedar that was rotten that I didn't want to give her, that I'll burn myself, and then some apple that's not seasoned, and some branches. I don't feel comfortable by giving her a whole bunch of branches. So anyway, that's the cage right there, thrown in. There we go, definitely heaped on top. Now, as you saw, I was tossing in the half, or the top half here, and then having to stack the top. It just makes it easier so it doesn't fall out. And then, as many of you know, in terms of, or do with your cages when you deliver firewood or use cages for firewood, you cut out open one side, right? Well, that's great, but for me to deliver, the face kind of falls in. So I'm gonna use like a 1x4 from a pallet, or a 2x4 to kind of hold it in, and then the mesh tarp will surround it so it doesn't fall out as I'm driving. But having this cage be open in front is definitely a lot easier to load and offload. But when you're wanting to keep it in there for transport, having a board or something in front here to kind of hold it in helps and makes sense. So my delivery date or time is at 11, and it is now a 10 after 10. So I want to make sure that I have enough time to load this. So we got this all loaded in the truck, heaped, ready to rock and roll for the first load. And I'm going to tarp it off real quick, and then we're going to check out what I have for cedar chunks, and use the moisture meter, and use my 2% rule, and test it outside, make sure they have enough cedar chunks and that they're dry. All right, truck is all tarped off. I have my moisture meter. Now we're gonna go searching for cedar chunks. Now I don't have that much volume going in and out, but I do have various wood stacks and piles in my backyard. But you know, you just kind of forget what you have. When you see it, you know what it is. Or there's a sign on it saying that this is hemlock from January of whatever year, or apple from June or whatever. I think it'd be good to have signage out, because so in case you don't have to force yourself to memorize what wood is what, where's what, and when it was stacked, so you know, kind of keep a gauge of time. But anyway, I digress. So let's go over here. This stack of, get in here. Okay, this is the cedar chunks that we broke into the other week for that cedar chunk delivery. And some of these, I remember, were kind of wet, so we're gonna feel them, gauge, and then probably add this to the pile. But this is definitely not enough to fill the cage for delivery. So let's go searching for some more. All right, this is another cage, one that you saw a video on when I was building cages and getting rid of, to process the cedar chunks. So this has been, with that, like this past summer episode, anyway, this has been under the pool, which is not ideal for covers in terms of it drying out. It covers it's fine, but I'll make sure this is dry. So let's check out a few pieces. So this was on top here. I'll put you in the stand. Hey, that's a lot better. All right, so this was on the top, so it was not getting a lot of airflow, and definitely not sun. So let's check it. Oh, my meter turned off. This is at 17, so add 2, 19 on one side. Other side at 16.9, add 2. Take another chunk on top. Take this one with the bark on it. What is that? 19. So that's a little over, but still, I mean, it's not at 20%, but still like at that cusp. So she's gonna be stacking this in her garage, which is a dry place, not outside. So that should be fine for her. That's at 17, so that's good. Let's take a few that fell on the ground when I did the tarp. Check it. 18.7. So this feels light, the cedar. So I feel it's definitely pretty dry, but just by feeling it. So that's 17.1. Put that back. Let's try to get a few that are down here that I can't reach. So that is at 17.2. And that's 19. So actually that's okay. Let's go around. Check out a few down here. A bit on the elements. That's 18.4. That's 17.3. This one that fell, even the wet spots on it. Let's check that. 19. That there. Take a few of these on the outside. 17.7. 16.6. Oh. And another one here. 17.2. So what I'm going to do, my plan is I'm going to back up because my truck is right there. When I come back from my first delivery to do my second one, which is going to be cedar chunks, I'm going to take, probably going, I don't know, should I, let's just take from this one so to get this empty. The other one that I first tested, the partial pile, let's just leave that as is, because I know that there's some wet chunks in there that I don't want to get this lady, this customer, who's a long-time customer. I think she's bought from me for several years now. Local lady, and yeah, we raises dogs, or she's a breeder. But not that that's here nor there. But this, yeah. So we'll back up the truck, same location, and load from here. That way, this cage is empty for more wood and more space back here. So that's the plan as of right now. So let's deliver this load, and we'll come back and we'll do one more. from the first delivery, so now it's gonna load up the cedar. So I just dropped off the fir, almost mostly fir, and this is the second load for the same customer of the cedar blocks. So let's get on it. There she is, load number 2, cedar chunks. Yes, there's a few air gaps in here, but again, I'm not stacking it. I'm clear with my customers that it is loosely tossed in. So I try to give them a good fair amount of wood. It's definitely heaped. Up here you see the level, definitely heaped like that. So load number 2, as I was loading this, I was thinking to myself, I remember this past summer I was worried about, because I got a bunch of fir that was like smaller pieces, like round, that were bucked up from like 4-inch to like 10-inch, maybe like at like 14. And when I'm bucking myself, or when I'm getting wood for tree service, when I want to organize wood that I'm going to sell, I'll go between maybe 17 and a half, 18 at the longest, to as short as 15 on the, or sorry, longest to shortest. So between 15 and 17 inches are kind of my gauge to hit the 16-inch sweet spot when I'm selling. So the wood in my yard is stacked for personal and selling wood. Now if it's too long, I'll cut it up, and then that cookie will go in the cookie bin. But anyway, I got a bunch of fir that was under 16 inches, under 15, under 14. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this wood? Like, it burns, all wood burns, but what am I gonna do with it? So now I have now figured out my solution is to sell it as cookies, as loose thrown in the cage here. Sell it, and yeah, so I think that's going to be a good solution, because when you get tree service wood, it could be the bucks of rounds could be anywhere. Whoever is up in the tree, whoever is on the ground bucking up the logs, they don't really care how long it is. They just want to get it cut and loaded so they can move on to the next job. So my guy Paul, when he knows he's going to deliver it to me, he'll try more or less to get it at the 16-inch sweet spot. But other guys, they just dump it and go, and it could be all over the place. So so that was my solution. This fall, of that fir or any other wood that I get that's under, like a whole bunch of rounds under 15-14 inches, it will go into a bin, and that we sold as loosely tossed in wood into a cage, and probably sell for the same, maybe depending if it's harder wood, I don't know. I may save the harder wood from my wood stove, but the softer stuff, like the fir that I just had in the first load, that will still sell for, like the cedar, sell for $90 a cage, plus the fee to deliver. And again, like I pointed out in my previous videos, I'm not going to be doing pickup of cages. I've been burned before where the person I loaded it I ferried wood up to the top of my driveway and put it in the cage for them, and they were no-show. So I had this cage in my driveway where my trailer currently sits. It's covered. No one's going to steal it or steal from it. And then it sits there, and I don't want to get it wet, and I don't know what to do with it. So it's going to be all for delivery. So I make my money that way. So anyway, let's take a picture of this for the customer, and off we go. And I'll see you back in the yard in a second. All right, back from the delivery. Got paid. Told the lady that I had some more of both of each. If you needed some in the future, hard to tell how much wood someone's gonna need based on how they burn. Either they're in home and they're always cold and they are just constantly having to feed that fire. Obviously, softer woods burn faster than harder woods. She has both soft woods, so she may get back to me probably, I don't know, maybe in like a month and a half, maybe 2 months. I don't know. She may have enough to get her by, but the cage is rolled back to where it goes, right there. So done in terms of wood today. It's gonna start raining, so I'm gonna make sure that all my tarps and stuff are covering the wood, etc. I was thinking about this too. Before I would market these cages as half a cord, and I was definitely wrong in terms of the dimensions of them. Granted, then I was stacking the wood, and they were 16 inches long-ish, more or less, in there. I even heaped, that's not going to be half a cord. Heaped, and with the bigger cages, heaped is going to be 1/3 of a cord. That's going to be stacked, more or less 1/3 of a cord. So I was thinking about this too, and then I think someone mentioned on one of the Facebook groups about Firewood that I'm on that a cage loosely tossed in is going to be 1/4 of a cord, and that makes sense. Not necessarily heaped, but to make sure that it's more or less going to gauge it. So you can say either between 1/4 of a cord or 1/3 of a cord of wood loosely tossed in. So I think that's a good measurement. But I use these cages because it's a unit measurement that people are used to, or they know what it is, more or less what it is. They've seen one before, and regardless of the dimensions, because they do vary sometimes, they know that it's a cage of wood. So as long as you're clear on to the customer what they're getting, I think that's fine. So because I mean, I don't want to have any argument or debate with the customer saying, "Oh, well, you said that's 1/3 of a cord, and I stacked it, and that's not 1/3." Well, I mean, what do you want me to do? So this is my measurement. This is what I use to deliver. Now, when I do deliver, I do have a few customers that I do deliver more than 1/3 of a cord or a cage worth. I deliver cords. Then that I will do measurements to calculate, and I will stack it in a trailer and make sure that is proper. I don't really use those cages, but it all depends on what they're ordering and what I have available to me at the time. So yes, I just wanted to point that out. One thing too, I wanted to thank everyone for viewing and subscribing, and thank you for all your insight and likes and views from my previous video. I know that was kind of a downer. I know that I was super upset in that video. So thank you for watching and tuning in. I still, just a plug, I still have that goal at the end of December this year to hit 500 subscriptions, or sorry, 500 subscribers, 500 subs. And I did the math incorrect last time, or I didn't view it properly, but I think I'm at 450 right now. So I need 50 more subscribers to hit that 500 mark. And I think that's a good goal for the year. So if you like what you see, and you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I'm not the type of person to plug myself or to after each video nowadays. I'm not gonna say hit subscribe and smash the notification bell or whatever, if you do that if you want to do that. But what I'm asking for now is help me reach that goal of 500 subs by the end of the year. It's now at the end of November, so now we have of December. So spread the word that you like this channel. I hope that you like the content. Obviously, there are people on out there who watch this channel, and I thank you for that. I appreciate it. But after we hit that goal of 500, I have a special video that I'm going to put out at that time. But I'm waiting for that 500 mark. And after that time period that I have that number, that goal, then I don't see the need to plug myself. You're gonna watch more videos if you want to. It's kind of annoying to me when people are like, yeah, like subscribe and like and all that stuff. Well, you're gonna do that if you want to do that. Don't. It's almost like you're begging for. Obviously, a lot of people, they want to be monetized and they want to gain more money from it. I'm doing this because it's fun. Obviously, it would be nice to be paid for it, because right now I'm not monetized. But it's just fun, and I want to share the wealth of knowledge that I have, learn from each other. You share with me your insight on the comments, and I appreciate that. So we all learn collectively, as a group, as a happy Firewood family, so to speak. So thank you again for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time on the channel. Until then, hey, keep cutting and be safe. Cheers.